What happens when an imposter policeman asserts false authority over an actual law enforcement officer? We are about to look at 3 fake cops who actually tried to arrest a real cop. Will they be able to get away with this act, or will they have to face the consequences? Let's find out.
That's not what I'm hearing.
So I get it, everybody makes mistakes, but...
In Kenosha, Wisconsin, a peculiar incident unfolded as an off-duty police officer headed home from work. The officer observed a Jeep adorned with white and amber lights, fervently attempting to pull over multiple vehicles. Little did the 19-year-old behind the wheel realize one of these vehicles belonged to a genuine cop. The subsequent arrest revealed that the young man harbored aspirations of becoming a police officer. As the interaction unfolded, the officer confronted the 19-year-old about his attempt to pull over 3 individuals.
Sure.
Coming northbound or?
So eastbound.
And then into the northbound?
Turned right, and then he made the left.
The young man denied the intention, asserting a lack of interest in impersonating law enforcement. However, the officer highlighted the potential dangers and the foolishness of attempting such actions, especially when dealing with real police officers. The situation escalated when the officers discovered that the young man had equipped his vehicle with a siren and lights obtained from Amazon. The aspiring police officer, engaged in construction and landscaping, justified his actions as a misguided attempt to experiment with the newly acquired equipment. Upon closer inspection, the officer discovered additional LED lights in the back seat, raising concerns about the young man's intentions. The aspiring officer claimed innocence.
For whatever the case is,
And I'm sitting here drawing attention.
you should literally be going to work, going home, and that's it. You should be
Expressing admiration for law enforcement and disavowing any impersonation attempts. The officer pressed further, questioning the purpose of the added light bar and the red and white strobe lights on the vehicle. The young man explained that he had recently acquired the equipment from his father's house, originating from a racing lawnmower project. He insisted that his use of the lights was merely a response to being followed by another vehicle with hazard lights on. The officer understood the risks associated with such behavior, particularly the potential for harm if the young man were to pull over someone who posed a genuine threat. The officer also pointed out the legal implications of impersonating a police officer.
So, I guess our concern is to make sure that you don't have a badge you bought from Amazon or something like that.
As the dialogue continued, the officer emphasized the importance of making responsible choices, particularly for someone on probation. The aspiring officer revealed that he had been on probation since April and had recently completed a 9-month program. In the end, the officer opted not to press charges immediately, but warned the young man of the consequences of future misconducts. The officer advised him to sell or dispose of the lights and siren equipment, and cautioned against engaging in activities that could lead to legal trouble. The incident concluded with the officer informing the young man that they would contact his probation officer and issue a summons for misdemeanor charges. The young man was cooperative throughout the encounter, and his fate would ultimately depend on the decision of his probation officer.
Election, you never had a driver's license in Patterson?
Deputies pull over a sedan for a moving violation. 2 individuals, Edward Hanner and Edward Patterson, claim to be tribal police officers en route to Atlanta for an investigation. In a routine traffic stop, deputies find themselves in a perplexing situation when 2 individuals, Edward Hanner and Edward Patterson, identify themselves as tribal police officers.
What's your name?
Sir, I'm the Attorney General for the tribe. My name is Charles.
Let's delve into the unfolding events captured in the transcript. The deputies engage in a conversation with Hanner and Patterson, probing into details like middle names and driver's licenses. The encounter begins with seemingly routine questions about middle names and driver's licenses. However, things take an unexpected turn as the officers question the legitimacy of their identification. Hanner and Patterson assert their connection to the Cherokee Nation, emphasizing their jurisdiction across all 50 states.
All states is all
However, skepticism arises as deputies question the validity of their tribal status and the documents submitted for recognition. As the conversation deepens, doubts emerge regarding the vehicle's registration and the authenticity of documents presented to gain recognition from the governor. The deputies express uncertainty about the legitimacy of tribal identification. The Attorney General is mentioned, adding another layer of complexity to the situation.
And y'all drive from Rhode Island. In this.
Discussions unfold, but the encounter concludes with lingering uncertainties about the legitimacy of tribal identification and the reason behind the vehicle stop. In the end, this intriguing encounter leaves us with more questions than answers. The authenticity of tribal identification and the circumstances surrounding the vehicle stop remain shrouded in uncertainty. Jackson Jones was pulled over after reports of a strange police officer questioning people aggressively. In a small town,
Or anything like that, with a gun or anything like that. I don't even have a gun. Okay.
the situation unfolds as Jackson Jones, donned in full police gear, attracts the attention of law enforcement after an odd encounter. Jackson Jones, claiming to be from Tennessee, raises suspicions as officers inquire about his vest and the unusual circumstance of driving over 500 kilometers in full police gear. The lack of proper identification and Jones's behavior of questioning civilians without jurisdiction heightened the officer's suspicions.
Don't have a gun with you or anything like that?
I don't. You can search the car. I don't.
You don't mind if I search the car?
I don't care.
Okay, cool.
Something seems off, and they're determined to uncover the truth. To unravel the mystery, the officers decide to conduct a thorough search of Jones's vehicle, looking for any evidence that might explain his peculiar behavior. Despite Jones's claims of working in law enforcement, he fails to produce any certification. The officers grow more suspicious as they dig deeper into the circumstances surrounding the traffic stop.
The Oklahoma County Sheriff's Office. I'm out on a individual saying he works for Campbell County.
In a crucial moment, the officers try to verify Jones's identity by contacting his supposed supervisor. However, the provided number turns out to be fake, leading to more questions about Jones's true intentions. A witness arrives, shedding light on Jones's actions, claiming he had unlawfully been pulling over individuals and making false claims about his law enforcement affiliation. With mounting evidence against him, Jackson Jones is placed under arrest for impersonating law enforcement. The consequences include potential jail time and charges related to his misleading actions. Alright, we've come to the end of this episode. Stay tuned for more heart-pounding escapades.